Hello again, beautiful people. Yes, Jamaican youth in the building yet again. Welcome to another live stream. And today we're going to be tackling a few topics. Um, and we just want to see how you feel about some of the topics that we'll be talking about. We will be talking about uh, the JFF, the Jamaica Football Federation, recently came out and talk about some of the debt that they slashed, some debt that they had that has now disappeared. At least not all of it, but a good portion of it has been disappeared. We're going to be reading an article that discusses that. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the standard of play in the Jamaica Premier League. I think it is 4 weeks that have gone in the Jamaica Premier League so far. And we can deduce a few things that we have seen in the Premier League so far. Still a long way to go, still a lot more games to be played before we get to any meaningful conclusion about the Jamaica Premier League. And then we're finally going to talk about Tyreek Mcgee, and is he the answer for the Reggae Boys? Is Tyreek Mcgee the answer for the midfield problems that the Reggae Boys have been facing? We have had this midfield problem for years now. One could say since Tapper Whitmore, since Ravel Morrison has left the team. We have had this midfield issue, but we haven't really found anyone that can close that gap, that can actually seal it up, as the coach has been saying. So yeah, we're giving people a little time to come into the building. As you come in, we just ask that you just do us a favor and just hit that like button. Help to send the video out to more eyes and to get a lot more viewers in. So I mean, that's the only request we have. And then yeah, we're going to get into some of the topics in a minute. But a lot going on out there. The Reggae Boys, they have a game tomorrow night. They play against Nicaragua in Nicaragua for the CONCACAF Nations League. That's coming up. You have the Jamaica Premier League, that's heating up. You know what I mean? Like you see, some of you see some formation of the league table, the league standings right now. And yeah, we can deduce some things, like for example, some of the teams that were promoted to the Premier League, they're not looking as shabby as they use as one may would have thought years ago or a few seasons ago. They're looking much better. No, so it's a lot to discuss. And then of course, rumors about players that have that maybe going overseas, at least in the transfer window coming up, at the end of this year, calendar year, going into the new calendar year. That's where you have the transfer window. So a lot to discuss. But we first want to talk about the Jamaica Football Federation and its debt. There's an article that came out recently that talked about the Jamaica Football Federation cutting its debt down to, it says, 90 million Jamaican dollars. And apparently when they came in office, when this administration came in office, there was only the JFF had a debt of more than 300 million Jamaican dollars, or it actually had a debt of more than 400 million Jamaican dollars. And so if I went back and I found an article from as early as 2021, January 17, 2021, where it says Jamaica Football Federation has managed to slash a sizable portion of its $300 million debt, 300 million JMD debt as of the end of 2020. President Michael Ricketts announced at the Federation's annual general meeting. According to the beleaguered president, the JFF has managed to slash its debt to $238 million. So that was in 2021 that the JFF was able to cut its debt down from from over $300 million to $238 million. Now, that one would say is a drop in the bucket because I mean you still had the majority of it left to deal with, but at least you got somewhere. You know, one of the things that Jamaica and the JFF has faced over years is that it has had a major financial problem, financial problems, and so dealing with the debt was always going to be a burden on the back of the JFF or a burden on the back of whosoever was the president. And so that was one of the things that at that time in 2021 was a point that a lot of people criticized the JFF about. Why is it that you're not able to get this debt under control? So that was in 2021. However, 4 days ago, an article came out in at Sportsmax, and I think I saw an article in the Gleaner as well that spoke to the debt of the JFF. The article headline says significant progress. Ricketts says JFF has cleared up over 300 million Jamaican dollars in debt owed to the Jamaican government since 2019 or since 2017. Actually, they have cleared up over $300 million in debt owed to the Jamaican government since 2017. And the article reads, President of Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, says the body has cleared over 300 million Jamaican dollars in debt they owe to the Jamaican government since he took office for the first time 7 years ago. So he's saying that the body has cleared over 300 million Jamaican dollars. So it seems like there was more than 300 million Jamaican dollars owed. Ricketts had defeated Stuart Stevenson to complete the JFF's 2015-2019 term after the death of then President Captain Horace Burley in 2017, before re-elected for his first full term in 2019. And by the way, this article is October 7, 2024. So that's like 2 days ago. This article came out. It continues, we have made significant progress as it relates to our fiscal management. So far, we are in a better position now than when we got into office. Reggae Boy Squad, Ricketts told Sportsmax last week at the unveiling of Reggae Boy Squad for their upcoming CONCACAF Nations League fixture against Nicaragua and Honduras. When we got into office, I think we were indebted to the government to the tune of over $400 million. So that's what I was saying. If they clear up more than $300 million, they must have owed the government more than 300. So here is it. He's saying when he got in office, they were indebted to the government to the tune of over $400 million. When we took over, we were very intent on getting that figure down. We have cut that to $90 million, and certainly we're on track to make that zero by the end of the year. You know, it's crazy because, like, I'm bless up Chorus Carney. Definitely glad to have you here, man. Thanks for passing through. But it's important that they're trying to get this figure down to zero by the end of the year. I mean, that's a pretty big goal to set yourself. I mean, $90 million. No, they're on the low end of that debt that they owed. $90 million is good. To get it down to only $90 million, I applaud the JFF for that, because I know this has been a problem. The debt has been a problem since Captain Horace Burrell. They've always owed something. They have never turned a profit, this JFF. But now they've gotten the debt down to $90 million, and they are in line to continue to make a lot of money. I mean, if they qualify for this World Cup, yes, Chorus Carnival. I did do a video on Bluefield in Nicaragua. I did go there. I've been to Nicaragua before, in Managua and in Bluefields and Granada, by the way. But Yes, so the fact that they've got the debt down to $90 million is a very good accomplishment by the JFF because, as I said earlier, the debt has been sky high since Captain Horace Burrell. They've always owed. The way how the federation was run at that time, it was run on debt, and so the debt kept going up and up. They never were really in a position to turn a profit. So what I was saying is, if we qualify for the things that are in front of us, Jamaica. Like, for example, we qualify for the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Nations League, and then push to qualify for the semifinals of the CONCACAF Nations League. Let's say we actually do qualify for the CONCACAF semifinals of the Nations League. That's more money coming into the coffers of the JFF. Then, of course, we want to make sure we do well in the CONCACAF Gold Cup that's coming up next year as well. And then ultimately, we need to qualify for the World Cup that will be held in our backyard in the United States, in 2026. So if you look at those three things that we have ahead of us, the CONCACAF Nations League, the CONCACAF Gold Cup, there will be another CONCACAF Nations League in 2025 again, and then the World Cup in 2026. That's 4 more tournaments coming up in the next 2 years. If we are very good at quality, if we are able to qualify for those tournaments, and do well in those tournaments, we're looking at the JFF turning a profit by the end of 2025, going into 2026. And that is what we'd like to see, because the JFF have always talked about having that burden on their back of, the debt. It is high time we can have a profitable football federation. It would be nice if the JFF can come and say, no, we are no longer in debt. We're turning a profit. We can use some of that money to build facilities around the country, or we can use some of that money to pump into grassroots football, or we can use some of that money to support the National Premier League, the Jamaica Premier League. It would be nice for us to have a profitable football federation. And so when I saw this article that their debt is down to $90 million, and they're looking to turn a profit, they're looking to get that down to zero by the end of the year, I'm like, that is awesome. That's amazing. That is amazing stuff by the JFF. And, me know say me beat the JFF all the while, not all the while, but I beat the JFF sometime because of some of the things that they've done, the issues that they have had with the reggae girls more recently, and other things. We have talked about, a lot of things that the JFF are not doing well, but when we see something that they're doing well, I want to also point it out and say, well done for getting that debt down. And I hope that they're able to, I hope that they're able to fulfill their promise or fulfill their goal of getting the debt down to zero by the end of the year. Big up Conrad Smith. Glad to have you here again, man. Yeah, big up to everybody in the comment section. Big up to everyone watching the live right now. Just ask you to hit the like button as you come in. And thank you for being here. Yeah, so we want to talk about that and just mention that, we have gotten, I think we have gotten past the point where we're constantly talking about the missteps of the Jamaica Football Federation. And now, if you notice, you don't really hear anything about the any negative news about the JFF these days. Everything seems to be on the up and up. The Reggae Boys made it over to Nicaragua safe and sound. There were no issues there. There were no baggage issues. I can't tell the last time you hear any negative news coming out about the JFF. So that's a good thing. And we need to call it out when we see it. And long may they continue on this path of leading the nation's football in the right direction. We would love to see more work on the youth level. We want to see more focus on the youth programs in Jamaica, that talent, that tedious thing that they're having at the JFF Center of Excellence, where they're having a national academy and keeping players engaged and keeping youngsters playing on a regular basis and in camp. That's a very good thing. There need to be, plans to continue that when that FIFA coach leaves, Jamaica, we need to have plans to continue that. So I'm liking the direction that the nation's football is going in. I'm hoping that that continues. And yeah, kudos to the JFF for getting the debt down. We would love to see us having a more prominent role in CONCACAF, and we're talking about CFU in general. It seems as if, back in the day when you had Captain Horace Burrell and Jack Warner as president of the Jamaica Football Federation and president of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation, respectively, those guys had a powerful voice in CONCACAF and represented the Caribbean very well. You know what I mean? So I know some of the things that we talk about. If you think about the CONCACAF Gold Cup, whenever we have games in the United States, they tend to put the games in cities where there are not a large concentration of Jamaicans, and simple things like that. If we had a larger voice, a bigger voice in CONCACAF, we would try to get our games to be played in areas where our supporters would come out, like in New York, in Florida, in Atlanta. Those are areas that you have a large concentration of Jamaicans. So that is something that I would, if there was a more prominent voice from the CFU in CONCACAF, then you could see more of that. So I would like to see a more active CFU, even though they're doing a good job organizing that under 14 tournament that they have. But we would just like to see more of a voice from the Caribbean in CONCACAF. But so far, so good with the Jamaica Football Federation, and hopefully they can even continue on to the better things. Chorus Carniff, you say, I can see where they're trying to get things done. Yes, the JFF, they're trying. No, I don't hear the chorus of criticism that used to, be on YouTube every day about the JFF. That has died down, and now you hear a lot more. You hear either no news or positive news. As I say, no news is good news. So, and then we have that game in Nicaragua tomorrow. So that's the JFF. That's what they have done. As I say, I hope that they continue. Nigel Garden, bless up yourself, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming through. So yeah, I'm gonna switch gears now and talk about the Jamaica Premier League, because my plan was to talk a little bit more about the Jamaica Premier League this season, because there are some things that I see that I like, some things that I think still need some improvement. But I want to talk about the Jamaica Premier League and the general question: has the standard of play improved in the JPL? Is it better to watch? No. And I mean, almost all of the games are being televised right now, whether it's on Sportsmax or Sportsmax Plus or Sportsmax 2. I'm not sure, but almost all of the games are being covered. We have 14 teams in the JPL. And let me just give you a little bit of a synopsis or a summary of what the JPL looks like right now in terms of the table. The table has Cavaliers leading the JPL on 10 points. So they have 4 games played, 3 wins, 1 draw, no losses. They have a goal difference of +6, and they're leading the Premier League with 10 points. Then you have Montego Bay United, 4 games played, 3 games won, no games drawn, but they've lost a game. I think they lost to Harborview, by the way. Which is and then a goal difference of +4. There are 9 points. Harborview, which is my team, big up Harborview. Four games played, 2 games won, 1 draw, 1 loss, a goal difference of +1, and they're on 7 points. And then now Mount Pleasant. Listen to this: 2 games played, 2 games won. Oh, they're only okay. So they've only played 2 games. Okay. So 2 games played, 2 games won, no draws, no losses, and they're on 6 points. Tapa Whitmore, I guess he's unbeaten. Cavalier and Mount Pleasant are unbeaten right now. Portmore United, 4 games played, 2-1, no draws, 2 losses, 6 goal difference of 0. So they have a equilibrium essentially, and they're on 6 points. People look out for Mount Pleasant, and in particular, Rudolph Austin. I think that guy is a good coach. Honestly, I really do think Rudolph Austin is a good coach that no one has really seen or paid attention to. But let's wait and see how the season has gone, or how the season goes. But I think Rudolph Austin is going to be one of the next emerging coaches in Jamaica as a local coach. I personally think so. And then Waterhouse, 3 games played, 3 games played, 2 wins, no draws, 1 loss, goal difference of 0, 6 points. Arnett Gardens, down at 7th. Can you believe it? 3 games played, 1-1, 1 draw, 1 loss, 2 + 2 goal difference, 4 points. Humble Lion, 4 games played, no wins, 4 draws, and there are no losses. Goal difference 0. They're on 4 points. Vera Phoenix, that team with Lenny Hyde and Craig Butler, 4 games played, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, but a -3 goal difference, and they're on 4 points. Racing United, one of the newly promoted team, in 10th position, 4 games played, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, -4 goal difference, and they're on 4 points. Malines United played a wonderful game this weekend with I think it was a 4-1 win over Chapelton Maroons. There are 3 games played, 1 win, no draws, 2 losses, goal difference of +1, and they're on 3 points. Down at the bottom of the table, Chapelton Maroons in 12th position, 3 games played, 1 win, no draws, 2 losses, goal difference of -4, 3 points. And then Tivoli Gardens, wow, they're down at 13, 3 games played, no wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, -2 goal difference, 1 point. And then Dunby Holding, 3 games, no wins, no draws, 3 losses, -7, and they're on 0 points. So that's how the standings look right now. And it is interesting that the season is going the way it is going so far. I think it's pretty interesting, the table. So it's not really much to deduce right now because we're just 4 games into the Premier League, right? But from what I've seen, I'm a little satisfied, with the intensity of the games that I've seen so far. I think we're still off by a year and a half. I think it can still be a little bit more intense, but I like the hustle and bustle of the league, in a sense, and I like the fact that Racing United and Chapelton Maroon have come this season, and they're not making it easy they're not being the fairy tale teams, so so to speak. They're not being I think Harborview, which is my team, lost to Racing United on their opening game. It's I'm glad that they're coming in, and it's not just simple for them for other teams to just roll over them. They're making it competitive. They're playing good football. Racing United has a good coach. You know what I mean? Even though Chapelton Maroons lost to Malines, I still think they put up a very good fight in the first half of that game against Malines United. But they ended up losing the game. They look better than what it would have looked like 2 seasons ago, or even a season ago, when those teams from the second tier got promoted to the first tier. Those promoted teams look a little bit better now. So there are a few things I want to talk about though. But just to take some few comments, Corey said Moby are going to go too far. Yes, Moby. I watched the game against Arnett Gardens on Monday night. That was a good game to watch. I really liked watching that game. The atmosphere was good. They need to put more games out at Montego Bay. You know what I mean? They need to play more games out at Montego Bay. I think that area of the island wants the football. They'll come out and support it. You can hear the atmosphere in the stadium, and Catherine Hall is a good, is a good venue to play, JPL football. It looks good on TV. And, we want to improve those surfaces, though. I think the surface looks good, but it was a little thick. You kind of want to, have it a little, cut a little bit lower so the ball can run, the ball can roll faster. That will improve the intensity of the game. But yes, very good Montego Bay. I liked watching that game. That goal that was scored by what was it? Owen Gordon. I hope I'm not butchering his name, but the goal that was scored was a wonderful goal, classic goal, and it was a good ad for the JPL. Very good game, and I'm looking forward to what Montego Bay United does this season. They look like a good team. It looks like they fixed the organization of the administration of Mobile United. It look like they have some serious people there who are forward thinking and people who are going to be pumping money or getting sponsors to sponsor the team. So I'm thinking that it's looking good for Mobile United. So and the coach, they have a really good coach, that Argentine coach. Another good look for the JPL. So they're doing well there. Corey says Moby was robbed by half of it. I never saw that game. I heard there's a lot of cards in that game, and I tried to search the internet high and low to find out, the highlights for that game, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to see it. I was like, what happened in that game? Why were there so many like cards in that game? But I couldn't find it. I don't know if somebody could send me a link to watch it, but I would love to watch that game to see what was going on there. And Chorus also says, did you see the HV version? No, I didn't see it. I never see it. If you can send me a link that we can watch the highlights for that game, I would really love to see it, because I searched to see if I could find it and I couldn't. I want to see if I can watch that game, because, so the standard of playing the Premier League, what I see happening in the Premier League, the Jamaica Premier League right now, is there is good build-up play, meaning that I see teams, when the goalkeeper have the ball, they're rolling it out to their wing-back players or their centre-backs, and they're trying to build up from the back and transition all the way to the final third and trying to score a goal. That's generally what I see. The midfield in Jamaica's Premier League is not it at all. Who would you consider your standout midfielder in this Premier League? Because there's some other things I want to talk about, but is there a standout midfielder so far in this Premier League? I see when I watch the Premier League. I see decent build-up play in defense, but the ball doesn't play through the midfield a lot, and I see a lot of bypassing at the midfield. I see a lot of long passes from center backs trying to get it up to the front to the strikers or to the wingers. I think that's how Jamaica plays in general too. The national team plays in general, but I don't see the ball passing through the midfield a lot. I don't see the ball passing through the midfield. I see a lot of intensity. But one of the number one things I don't see, or I see as a problem in the JPL, is the decision making in the final third. Whenever teams get in the final third, that final touch to score is not it at all. Like, you see a lot of players when they get, like, let's say you get 10 yards outside the box, a few yards outside the box, and they kick a shot, even if they're trying to score from way out, the ball doesn't even go on frame. It doesn't even go on target. It's just a big wild shot that's just it does. I don't see as much on target shots. Now, you had some good goals being scored. You know what I mean? Again, we saw that game against Montego Bay. That guy scored a really good goal. Owen Gordon, that game. I think Waterhouse played a game down at Montego Bay as well. I think they were playing. I don't remember who they were playing, but they scored a really that guy. The ball that came over, he controlled it, pushed it off, boom, bent it around the keeper. The keeper couldn't even move because it was such a well taken shot. Those are some good goals, but I don't see good decision making in the final third in general. Like I see good build up play from the back in general, but when you get to the final third, I think we lose our collective, or the teams, they lose their inventiveness right there, and that is an area I think I would love to see improvement in. I would love to see improvement in the set pieces. You know what I mean? The goal, the corner kicks and the free kicks. I would love to see a little bit more improvement there. And maybe as the season go along, you will see more of that. You will see better free kicks as they as the teams gel together better. That will naturally come out. But that's the thing. If I was if just as a lay fan watching the Premier League, I would hope that that is something that is worked on by the goalkeeper, or by the coaches. So what we see right now in the Premier League, if you look at the what do you call it, the goal scoring table, we see Akwasa Chang from Harborview. Yes, Harborview. Akwasa Chang from Harborview on 4 goals. So he's the leading goal scorer in the tournament right now. And this is what I'm talking about. I want to see players shooting out and see if we can have a 20-goal season. That's what I would like to see. If we can see a player can keep this type of form and have a 20-goal season this season. So Akwasa Chan is on four goals. Jamara Calvin from Cavaliers is on 3 goals so far. I think Jamara Calvin, the Antiguan, playing for Cavaliers on three goals. Owen Gordon, he's a player from Montego Bay United I was talking about, on 2 goals. Brian Brown also on 2 goals. Kimani Airborne on 2 goals. And then the player from, I know it's not on this list that I'm looking at, but the player from Malines United, who scored 2 goals in that 4-1 win over Chapelton, he is also on 2 goals as well. So the goal scoring chart is shaping up, and we want to see somebody put up the man and really have an outstanding season this time around. I would really love to see that. Darren Scott says Montego Bay totally outplayed HV Harborview and scored 2 beautiful goals that were disallowed as offsides that were not offside. Interesting. I mean, as Massam, I never really see that game there still. I mean, I know Mobe is a good team though. Mobe is a well-coached team and has some good players. I really want to watch that game. I would really want to see if somebody could. I don't know if the JPL is kind of they're trying to not show it because of the calls that were made, because I know that the referee had some questionable decisions in that. From what I hear, I don't really know that for a fact, but from what I hear, but yeah, Moby is a well-coached team, and this guy, the coach that they have, he's not only interested in fitness and skill and all that. He is actually tactical. He's actually a tactical coach. So that is something good to see. So what are your thoughts on the Premier League? We see week 4, Cavalier 4-1 over Dunby Holden, Mount Pleasant 4-0 over Racing United at Catherine Hall, Montego Bay United 1-0 over Arnett Gardens. So that was good. That was on the Monday night games. And then on the Sunday games, or the Sunday evening games, Humble Lion 1-1 with Harborview. And that was at Effortville Community Sports Center. Portmore United 2-0 over Ver Phoenix at Ferdinand Park. What say you about Ver Phoenix this year? Do you think they will do any damage in the Premier League? I know Craig Butler has been saying a lot about when him getting players, them they're going to do this, and after the Money Cup season and all of that. Mullines United 4-0 over Chapelton Maroons. That's the game I was talking about. I watched that game at Tony Sparling. And then Tivoli Gardens lost 1-0 to Waterhouse at Tony Sparling as well. I think it was that game that player had that brilliant curling goal from Waterhouse. So yeah, that's kind of what has been going on in the JPL. I think the standard of play is better than I've seen it in years. I'm glad there are more venues open across the country now. But, I personally would love to see better decision making in the final third by, more of our teams going forward. All right. So that's a little bit about the JPL. I don't hear anybody. I don't know if people watch that a lot, but hopefully when it heats up, I think more people watch it when it come on to the playoffs. That's the time to see a lot more people. But I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be especially focusing a lot on Harborview, because Harborview is my team. I'm going to be watching how they progress. All right, so I'm going to switch gears. I finally again talk about Tyreek Mcgee. Tyreek Mcgee, and I asked the question, can Tyreek Mcgee solve the midfield issue for the Reggae Boys? Can Tyreek Mcgee solve the midfield issue for the Reggae Boys? Now, even up to this morning, I saw an article in the Gleaner that pretty much was saying that the local coaches in Jamaica are elated or are happy that Tyreek Mcgee has been included in this Nations League window, as they think that he is the answer for the midfield midfield problems that the Jamaica has been having. As I was mentioning earlier, in watching the JPL, I can see a similar style of play in JPL teams as we see in the national team, where the midfield is not really used in a lot of these JPL games. As a matter of fact, if I ask you the question, who would you consider the standout midfielder in the JPL this season? I don't know who that would be. I haven't seen any player that, I can say, okay, So when you have a player like a Tyreek Mcgee that seems to be doing reasonably well in the USL, he's playing for Colorado Switchbacks, and he's been doing really reasonably well, getting a few assists, getting some goals as well. Being amongst the goal is being a regular starter for the Switchbacks. He is running a little bit more. I've listened to some interviews that he has done, and I think the question was asked, what is the major difference between playing in Belgium and playing in the USL? And surprise, he has said that more running is necessary in the USL than in Belgium. But whereas in Belgium, they kind of focus on technique, they focus on how you use the ball when the ball is at your feet. In Belgium, that's what he was saying. In the USL, more running is what is, running is the other. You have to run a lot. You know what I mean? And he was kind of alluding to the fact that that is the problem that a lot of people has had with him over the years. People said that with Tyreek Mcgee, when he's on the ball, you get a lot out of him, but when he's off the ball, you get nothing from him. He doesn't run back, he doesn't tackle, all of that. That's the issue that a lot of people has with him. And I kind of personally, quietly compared him in my mind to Jermaine Hugh, because I think that was one of the issues that people had with Jermaine Hugh. Brilliant player, Jermaine Hugh. Brilliant on the ball, free kick specialist, all of that. But as you know, when Jermaine Hugh used to play for Harborview, that was the big problem that everybody had with him. He did nothing off the ball. He never tackled. So when the ball is with his feet, you get a world-class player. But when he's off the ball, you don't get as much. And that was what kept Jermaine Hugh out of the national team for a long time. You know, the same is kind of true about Tyreek Mcgee. You know, he doesn't give you much on defense, but when the ball is at his feet, he tends to give you a little bit more. Now, has that played out to be true in the national team? Has he contributed, offensively in the national team over the time period that he has had opportunities in the national team? The jury's out on that, but I personally don't think he has. He played a good game against Costa Rica, I think I remember once, and in that game, that's the game I think people saying make one good turn and everybody want to worship him, after that. But that was the game I think he played, his best game for Jamaica, and we haven't seen that Tyreek Mcgee since, at least not for Jamaica. So I'm hoping that this window, he gets a chance and gets some minutes on the field. I'm not talking about come on in the last 10 minutes of the game or the last 15 minutes of the game. I'm hoping he gets at least a good 45 minutes at a minimum, and to see what he is capable of doing. Coach McLaren said that, he watched him because Maren Gordon mentioned Tyreek Mcgee to him, and he watched him and he liked him. He liked how he plays, like what he could do. And so he brought him into the squad. And so the ball is in his court to see what he is capable of doing. So with Tyreek Mcgee, do any of you think that he can do it? Do any of you think that he deserves this call up? Do you think that we have another we have another midfielder that can do what we need? We need an attacking midfielder. Casey Palmer is doing a good job, by the way, in my opinion. I think he's doing a great job. So he's at least our mainstay midfielder for now, in my mind. But do you think that Tyreek Mcgee is the answer? Do you think that he's going to be able to manage playing for Jamaica and stay in the team this time? I mean, like, he has gotten a few opportunities now, and I mean, this is another opportunity again. Can he stay in this team this time around? Let's read some of your comments. Mindset Media. Big up yourself, Mindset Media. Thanks for coming through. JPL is still a Bush League. More money is spent. Some fields have improved. Jerseys look nice, but the standard has not improved one bit. Well, what is it about the standard that you don't think has improved? Be specific, Mindset Media. I want to hear what you would like to see that you are not seeing right now. I think I see a better build-up play from the back, but the decision making in front of goal is not it at all. But I hope you could be a little bit more specific. What is it that you'd like to see that you're not seeing? Mindset Media. Darren Scott. Messi is arguably the best player ever, but he doesn't tackle much. That is true, but you can you can work with that because of what he gives you on offense. Messi's going to give you goals. He's going to give you assists. He's going to cause problems for defense. He's going to run at the defense. They're going to try and foul him. What he gives you on offense is so good, is so much that even if he gives you nothing on defense, you can live with that, because it's like the offensive production, the offensive contribution by Messi is outstanding. Tyreek Mcgee, does he give you an outstanding offensive production? I don't think so. If Tyreek Mcgee was giving us what Messi was giving us, I think people would be willing to live with the fact that he doesn't give you anything on defense. But so that is why I have to say I want to see more out of Tyreek Mcgee because, you know what I mean, again, he's playing some good football over there at the USL at Colorado Switchbacks. He's playing some good football from what I see. I watched some of his highlights. He is getting, more game time. He's playing a lot more minutes now. And that's good. He wasn't really playing many minutes in Belgium when he was there. He wasn't playing a lot of minutes. He wasn't starting. He wasn't. So now that he's playing a lot more minutes, I'm expecting him to be fitter. I'm expecting him to produce more. I'm expecting him to be more of a threat in front of goal. And I am expecting Jamaica to use the midfield more when he's on the field because I know that we are doing the bypass the midfield thing. And look, McGee, if by scouting Nicaragua a little bit, right? I noticed that a lot of their players play either in the Nicaraguan Premier League or in the Costa Rican Premier League, and then they have like two players that one plays in Finland and one plays in Norway. So most of their players are playing in the Central American leagues. Now, if you compare the Costa Rican Premier League and the Nicaraguan Premier League to the USL, I would say they're both on the same level. Maybe the Central American leagues, at least the Costa Rican league, might be slightly ahead of the USL, but I don't think the Nicaraguan league is above the USL. So by that metric, I would say they're at least on the same level. So he will be playing against players in this game. If he plays against Nicaragua, we'll be playing against players that are pretty much on the same level that he is, McGee. So here is an opportunity for him to shine, I think. All right. Mindset Media say, you see more build-up play. Don't know watching a few passes at the back between the defense, then a long ball out. That's not playing. All right. I see what you're saying. Yes. That is kind of what I'm saying. Maybe you kind of spell it out a little bit. I see the playing out from the back where they bounce around the ball at the back. You're right. And then it's a long ball up to the front. That's kind of how it is played. You're right. But I see a little bit of possession on the wings though when they get in, when that sometimes I see some pass along the wings, pretty much. I see mostly that long ball up to the strikers, yes. I see some passes along the wings, but then when it's time to cut in or play a ball into the middle and then take a shot to goal, those type of decision making is lacking. That's where they lose the ball. That's where they lose the ball a lot. So I do agree with you to an extent that yes, the ball is being passed around the back, but then they kind of just, like it's the long ball out. But it never used to be like that. It used to be worse than that. It used to be the keeper get the ball and just boot it out and hopes that somebody, get the ball, hopes that somebody on their team get the ball and then they try and take it from there and score. You know what I mean? So that is what I mean. That's a little bit more that's a little bit an improvement. I see a little bit more passing of the ball. I see, and it would be good if we could see stats. They say Y squad. I don't know what like the amount of passes that are made in a game from each team, and so on and so forth. I noticed there's one thing about the JPL app as well. They don't show the name of the coaches when they have the names of the players on the JPL app, because that's kind of what I use sometimes to get some information. They will name the starting lineup and you see all the players, but they don't have the name of the coaches in that starting lineup. So if there's anyone from the JPL that will ever hear this, I don't know. It would be nice if they can place the name of the coaches with the teams as well, because sometimes you don't even know who the coach is unless you're somebody who, I know who Arnett coaches are Waterhouse or Cavalier or Harborview because I follow Harborview. Some teams you kind of know, but like, like some teams that I don't follow as much, like Humble Lion or Mullines or those teams, you don't know who the coaches are. So it would be nice if they put there. But just to come back to your question, to what you're saying, mindset media, I agree with you to some extent. The long ball out is kind of what I was saying. That's how the national team plays sometimes. We bypass the midfield. That's what they're doing. They're rolling out the ball, playing the ball around in the back a few, and then they bypass the midfield over the top, try to get to the strikers up front, and then hope to see what happens. And then when those players get the ball, the decision making in terms of passing the ball is not good. They always get broken up right there. But as I said, I think it's a little bit better because it used to just be the keeper just out the ball and hopes that somebody gets it. Darren Scott said Mcgee will do more with the ball than any other midfielder we have available. Well, you might be right on that. I mean, I don't think we have many midfielders available. I don't see a standout midfielder in the JPL. You know what I mean? Because we bypass the midfield in the JPL. The ball is always booted past the midfield up front. Midfield is not used at all. And that would be, I would love to see if this season a standout midfielder could come out of the JPL because we're not seeing it right now. So yeah, Mcgee has a glorious opportunity. He has a glorious opportunity. We have a deficiency in midfield. Casey Palmer is the only mainstay midfielder I would think we have. Everybody else is like iffy because I mean, Joel Latiba there, he's a CDM really. He's a mainstay in the team too, but like I'm pretty sure if somebody comes in and takes up that attacking midfielder role and makes it their own, I think that person will become a mainstay in the team. And Tyreek Mcgee has a wonderful opportunity because there's no other midfielder knocking down the door. There's no other midfielder knocking down the door right now. So, I would love to see what he does. Hopefully he plays well. Hopefully he carries that form over from the USL into the JPL, or sorry, into the national team. Romario Williams has done well in the JPL, or sorry, has done well in the USL, and has largely a lot of the times carried over his form into the national team. He's a good goal scorer for us, Romario Williams. So hopefully Mcgee can do it too. Hopefully Mcgee can do it. Mindset Media says, glad you see the point I'm making. Yes, I do agree with you. There are a few more passes. However, the way we play one individual midfielder won't change the dynamics much. However, the way we play one individual midfielder. Are you talking about the JPL or are you talking about the national team? Yeah, I don't know if we just don't have coaches that know how to coach midfield, because we just tend to bypass the midfield a lot. We tend to bypass the midfield a lot. It's just you know what I mean, it's a characteristic of Jamaican football. We will bypass the midfield, and then when we get to the national team, we look and we say, boy, we have a midfield problem. There's a midfield problem in the Jamaica Premier League. There's a midfield problem in the whole Jamaica Premier League. Like, it's not just the national team. We don't have midfielders coming out. The last great midfielder, well, I mean, Jermaine Hugh was a great midfielder, but he never gave you anything on defense. But Tapa Whitmore, Jermaine Hugh, I'm trying to think of other midfielders. I know Peter Cargill, but these are way back in the day. Any recent midfielders that has done anything in the JPL? I know Adrian Reed was in was called to the national team, but the truth of the matter is, when he played under 20 for Jamaica, he wasn't that good in the under 20. So it's not. I don't know where the next great midfielder is coming from. Jamaica needs the next great midfielder. That is why I think that Tyreek Mcgee has a great opportunity. Patrick Riley, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Team just got harder to pick with Baker and Hayden to come. Isaac Hayden? Didn't I hear that Isaac Hayden was saying that he's not interested in playing for Jamaica? I don't know. And then if you're talking about Lewis Baker, we'll see if he comes. But from what I heard, Isaac Hayden was saying that he's not interested in playing for Jamaica. That's not. So we'll see. Mindset Media say both JPL and the national team. Yes. There is a you can make a good comparison between the JPL and the national team when it comes down to midfield issues. Because I know that when we talk about we have a midfield problem, we really just mention it in the national team. But the truth of the matter is that it's a problem in the local league as well. There are no standout midfielders in the local league. We can talk about standout wingers. We can talk about a good goalkeeper. We've gotten good goalkeepers. We've gotten good defenders. Richard King, Jamoy Topi, even though some people might differ. We have gotten some good strikers in recent times. Tafarai Bygrave and Daniel Green. Peter McGregor. We have had some people, and we have even exported some strikers. Colin Anderson. We exported what's his name? Ronaldo Cephas, who is back in the national team now. But where are the midfielders? Where are the midfielders that are coming from the national team? We don't have it because our style of play is to bypass the midfield. And I hope that can be something JPL coaches solve. Darren Dixon said the type of football that this coach is bringing to the team will fit Mcgee. I hope so. I certainly hope so. He says that he likes Mcgee. Mcgee is excited to be here. He's excited to be here. I can see the smile on his face. It's like, yes, me get back a chance. Me get back a crack at it. So I hope him take it. You know what I mean? I hope him take it. And especially because we need that position to be filled. I want that. I want him to fix that. The team needs to be brave enough to play the style under pressure. Well, yeah. Good point. The Jamaica. If you look at how we started the game against what you call it. The game we started. We played against Honduras in Honduras. See how we started that game? With possession of the ball. The coach wants us to control the game. And then when we lose the ball, we fight to get back the ball so that we can be back in control almost immediately. That's the way I see Steve McLaren playing. That's the way he wants to play, at least. So I hope that we can see more control of the game. In the Honduras game, we kind of control maybe the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game. And then it was different after that, even going into the second half. I wonder how much longer we can take control of the game against Nicaragua, because those are ball possession. Nicaragua is a ball possessing team. They knock around the ball a lot. They play a similar style to Honduras. Honduras might play a better brand of that style, but they play a similar style to Honduras. So how much longer can we take control of the game? I know Steve McLaren wants us to control the game, but we want to see if when we lose that ball, how quickly we get back possession of the ball, but how well do we use the midfield? I hope they're not playing the style where they bypass the midfield, but they actually play the ball through the midfield, especially with Tyreek Mcgee there. It makes no sense. We bring him into the team, play him, start him, and then we don't use the midfield. We have to give him a chance to create opportunities. So I hope that is something that is seen. All right, gentle folks. I'm gonna leave it here. I just wanted to do 1 hour today. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for passing through. Please hit the like button. You know, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. See one more comment, and I'm going to take this comment, and then McLaren is looking for players that are comfortable with ball. Yes, for sure. Intelligent players too. So yes, on your way out, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. And I think I want to do a live after the game on Friday. So I hope you all will come through for that. And yeah, thanks for coming through, everybody. Take care of yourself. Walk good. Be good. I'm out.